Hi, Sandra. Welcome to the hashtag Protect Accent interview.
Hi, thank you very much for having me. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, it's nice to have you here, Sandra. Can you please introduce yourself? Tell us who you are.
Of course, yes. So my name is Sandra Ruiz Moriana. I'm originally from Spain, from a beautiful city in the south of Spain called Seville. And I came to Ireland 11 years ago, where I have been living since then. Here in Ireland is where I have developed my career in the area of gender equality, migration, and connected to employment and leadership. I am currently working and managing a project that is called MyWow. It's the acronym for Migrant Women and Opportunities for Work here in Ireland. And well, this project is a project from the New Community Partnership, an NGO based in Dublin, that is working towards an intercultural and inclusive Irish society where immigrant groups are achieving aspects of their life and all the different aspects of their life. And this project in particular aims to advocate, support, and overcome all the barriers that migrant women are facing in Ireland when it comes to relaunch their career, when it comes to find employment, but also when it comes to progressing their career within their companies or in their own path career, or accessing or getting to leadership roles or managerial roles where the decision makers are made. So that's where we are supporting migrant women, and this project is crucial. And it's also important to know that we are also working with the other side of the coin, which is the companies and the agencies that they are recruiting migrant women. So as part of this awareness and as part of this the work that we are doing, we identified that some of the barriers that migrant women are facing is, for example, is accent is one of the barriers. So I'm very pleased to see this campaign running, and I'm happy to be one of the ambassadors here in Ireland for this campaign.
Thank you, Sandra. And you're doing a fantastic job as our brand ambassador. You are a very valued team member. Thank you for all that you do. We really appreciate that, Sandra. So can you talk us through your lived experience of accent discrimination? Have you ever experienced it?
I suppose this has been all the time part of my life, because as I say, I'm coming from the south of Spain, from Seville, which is part of a region that is called Andalusia. And Andalusia has that history connected to the accent, where people outside of Andalusia believe that we are not educated, we don't have the same value in our words, that we don't have the same value as a people just because we choose to use our accent. So that has prevented a lot of people from accessing to different type of employment and level of employment outside of Andalusia, just because we do speak with our accent. And so that's something that has been coming with me all my life. But I suppose when it came to Ireland, two things were, I combined the things like the fact that I was speaking a new language, something that it was not my mother tongue language, and my accent, my Spanish and Andalusian accent, which, by the way, I feel very proud of that. So that has affected me as a person, it has affected my self-esteem, and somehow it has caused me a trauma, because I felt over the past 11 years that I was less than other people, or I couldn't access to certain places because I have an accent, because I couldn't speak like Irish people with an Irish accent. So I felt like every time that I was part of a conversation, that I was losing credibility just because I didn't sound like the rest of the people, or the majority of the people. So as part of that, I decided to take elocution classes. And the first thing that my teacher told me was, I don't want you to lose your accent. Your accent is part of who you are. And that's something that it kind of hit me, because I wanted to, and somehow I wanted to lose my accent. I wanted to sound like the rest of the people. But the reality is that it is true that it's part of who I am, and I can't look that accent. I need to learn how to communicate better. I need to improve my communication skills, but that doesn't have to be anything with my accent. So I remember I decided to put something in Twitter about that, because my teacher at that time, she told me that that was not only a matter of migrant people. It was happening here in Ireland for many years, that people that they were, you know, if you are living in Dublin and you are from the north side and you have an accent from the north side and you are trying to work in the south, you face discrimination for that. Or if you are living outside of Dublin, I hear people in Twitter that they were commenting my Twitter, and it was actually, I got a lot of response. Because people were saying, I remember my parents, they put me in elocution classes because they wanted to tone down my accent for me to have a better opportunities in the future if I wanted to move to Dublin and to get a job. So this is something that is not only a problem for migrant people, but I suppose for migrant people it's kind of, you start adding layers to all the different barriers that we are facing, and accent is one of them, definitely is one of them. So back to the project that I'm managing, we decided to do a short survey, and we got 409 responses from migrant women. And one of the questions that we asked was about barriers that women are facing when it comes to find employment. And it was really interesting to hear people coming back to us, and especially because one of the barriers that they were mentioning was accent. People do believe that accent is a barrier, and even people from America. So if you let me, I can read some of the comments from the people from the survey.
Yeah.
And then it was anonymous, so I don't have their name, but I do have their comment.
Yeah.
They were saying, some of them, as an actor, I have not been considered for Irish role because I'm not Irish born. Occasionally, another person, I find that my American accent can lead me to being pigeonholed, but so much of my identity and appearances make it very easy for me to pass. Another person, accent is perceived as an illiteracy. Being bilingual with language qualification opened the door to office work, yet the language specialists were paid less than other specialists. So that's only some of the examples that you can see and you can feel that the barriers that we are facing, and one of them is connected to accent. But I think in the case of accentism, it's very difficult to prove. And it's that type of invisible barriers that we are facing, but it's hard to find a way to show and to prove that this is happening. So I'm very pleased again to see this initiative and the work that you're doing to raise awareness and in this particular barrier.
Thank you, Sandra. You've touched on a lot of very important points there. What would be your advice to employers? You've conducted this interview, you've identified that accent is definitely one of the key barriers that people are facing in accessing employment. What will be your advice to employers in terms of employing people with different accents?
My advice is clear and easy. Like, when you are sitting at a table and you are hiring people, there is no need to focus on the accent. There is no need to focus on the color of their skin. There is no need to focus on anything that you can see. The only thing that you need to focus is exactly in their skills, the capacities, and they do have the thing that the companies are looking for, and how that person is going to match your need, and in the opposite way around. That's the only thing that they need to look at. Their accent is going to be richness to the team. It's going to make the team more rich. It's going to make the team to progress and to keep progressing and getting out of the comfort zone. That's an advantage that they're going to get if they get people from different backgrounds, with different accents, with different look, with different life experience. but there is nothing to do with the actual role and their capacity to do the job. So that's will be one of my advice. It's kind of to block somehow their ears and to focus on what it really matters, which is their skills and their capacity. The second thing that I will advise is actually, and this is very much connected to what we are living at the moment with the Black Lives Matter, is about to check ourselves, to check constantly ourselves about our unconscious bias. And including myself as well, and everyone need to be checking that in a regular basis. It's not easy, it's take time, and it's not something that is gonna change from today to tomorrow. But I think if we start working from today, the future, it will look more brighter than it is at the moment. So unconscious bias is something that is an exercise that we should do every day, everyone, especially if you are hiring people and if you are pro diversity and you want to see your team with people from every background.
Wow, very rich, very, very rich insights there. Thank you, Sandra. And with this, we've come to the end of the interview. Thank you for coming again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and doing very well done. And you know, we will get there. So thank you very much. Have a good day.
You too, Sandra. Thank you. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.